Hi, I'm Irene, and I'm going to talk about the Stoneman Syndrome, which is a kind of genetic disease. First of all, what is it? Its real name is Fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, and it is a genetic disease, as I said in the beginning, that has affected 801 people worldwide ever. It is a connective tissue problem resulting from a mutation of the ACVR1 gene discovered in 2006, which means that it's really recent and we don't know much about it. It affects muscles, tendons, and ligaments, turning them into bone, which means that if people with this illness hurt themselves, their body will try to replace that area with bone. And for that, it is the only known medical condition in which an organ system changes into another. For example, a muscle turns into bone. Its median life expectancy is 40 years old, and there are 0.5 cases per million people, which is the same as 1 case per 2 million people. Now here are some pictures of what a body with this illness looks like. You can see in the 2 skeleton pictures that in the neck area there are bones that look like tendons, and this is because, as I explained, these tendons have turned into bone. Then in the middle there are 2 photos of 2 children's backs. You can see there are different structures below their skin, and they're different, but the idea is the same. And now that we know what the illness consists on, we should know how can we identify it. First signs usually show up before the age of 10. And children born with this disease often have malformed toes. So, for example, they would have their bigger toe smaller than the other ones. A symptom of what you could call a bone breakout is a hard swelling in the neck, the arms, and the legs after an injury. So as I said, when these people hurt themselves, the area turns into bone. And this growth starts in the top of your body. So the first thing to change would be your neck, and your shoulders, and then your chest, and it would continue to your feet. And then the big question is there a cure? There's no cure, although there are 2 known treatments that have been tested on some people. The first one is the application of corticosteroids during 4 days and 24 hours after the first breakout. This can help with the inflammation, but not really do anything against the illness. And then would be the surgical bone removal. Some surgeons have tried to take out the extra bone in this people's body, but it always grows back, so it isn't really effective, because what their body tries to do is to repair in some way the affected part and the tissues, so this doesn't really work. And finally, I want to talk about a personal experience so that you can all understand what it feels like to live with this disease. And the person I'm going to talk about is Carly Henriette. Carly is a 25-year-old woman from Missouri, the USA, who suffers from FOP, which is Fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva. Her case was detected when she fell from a stool when she was 5 years old and had a very bad swelling. When she went to the doctor, he checked her toes, and as soon as he saw them, he immediately knew what the problem was. She says she's glad that she had a normal childhood, but she can't remember what it's like to live without the pain that she goes through every day since that time. Nowadays, her neck, shoulders, hips, and jaw are locked. This means that she can't talk correctly, and she has to be in a wheelchair because she's not able to stand up. And finally, have what she said in an interview. FOP mostly affects me in a couple of different places. My jaw is locked and I have less than 2 millimeters of opening, so it makes it harder for me to eat or talk and project my voice. She lives with her boyfriend, who helps her do daily basis activities, such as doing her hair, driving, putting her shoes on, and she obviously can do a lot of things that we usually do, but she still tries to be as independent as she can. We have to bear in mind that a simple injury, such as a small paper cut, can cause her to develop more bone, and this is really painful for her. As a conclusion, I think we can all take a moment to acknowledge people who struggle with heart diseases throughout their whole lives every day. There are so many known illnesses that I hope one day will be discovered and people will be treated. I hope you found this presentation interesting and useful to get to learn a little bit more about some rare conditions such as the Stoneman Syndrome. Thanks for listening, and bye.